A lot of enthusiasm today. Good afternoon and welcome to Morton High School. Please allow me to begin by introducing the people seated on the stage.
Members of our Board of Education, past and present, who are in attendance today are Mr. Breaker, Mrs. Lehman, Mr. Neely, Mrs. Purdy, Mr. Roth, and Mr. Rudd. Our district office staff includes Dr. Craig Smock, Superintendent, Dr. Joe Sander, Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Troy Teeter, Assistant Superintendent, and Mrs. Lindsay Franklin, Director of Student Services. We're thankful that all of us could come together to celebrate the accomplishments of the class of 2025. This group of students has made a strong and lasting impact on MHS. They have achieved success in academics as well as in sports and activities. This group of students appreciates your willingness to come out and support them on this special day. I would now like to welcome our MHS Student Council President, Elena Hart, to the podium to give a brief welcome message.
Good afternoon. I am Elena Hart, this year's Student Council President. It is an honor to stand before you all and welcome you to commemorate these past 4 years with us. On behalf of the class of 2025, I would like to thank you all for joining us today as we celebrate this milestone. To the Morton High School faculty and staff, we thank you for the dedication and commitment that you have poured into our time here at MHS, as we now have the opportunity to excel outside of the high school. Additionally, to our families and support systems, through the car rides provided before we could drive ourselves, to advice shared on difficult late nights, or simply supplying a much-needed hug. Your encouragement and unwavering support has led us to this very moment, and it should not go unnoticed. Your belief in us has made all the difference, so thank you. Lastly, to my fellow Potters, we did it. We navigated challenges, celebrated victories, and formed memorable bonds that have led us here together. We have grown in not only knowledge, but also as individuals. Today, we stand on the threshold of new beginnings. Throughout the ups and downs of these past 4 years, we have made it here together. As we step forward, let's not forget the lessons that we have learned at MHS and approach our future plans with confidence that we can accomplish our goals. As we soon cross this stage, leaving MHS behind us, I wish you all the very best. Congratulations to the class of 2025. I would now like to invite the senior ensemble to come to the front and sing.
Wonderful job. Thank you for sharing your talents with everyone in attendance. I would now like to invite Addison Day and Elena Liu to the podium to give the senior address speeches.
I had never liked puzzles. When I was younger, I didn't have the patience to sit and work on piecing a puzzle together. The pieces were too intricate, too small, too numerous. They had no significance to me. All the pieces was a mess that someone had dumped out onto the table, no clear picture or obvious result. Now you may be asking yourself, what's this about puzzles? Why would I come up here to tell you about something that people use to pass the time? Well, the truth is, our lives are like a puzzle. The events that we go through and our day-to-day experiences are the pieces that have helped create the people we are today. When looking at a puzzle, it can be daunting to figure out how everything fits. And while I'm definitely not a professional at solving puzzles, I can say that the easiest way to start is with the corners. There's only 4 of them, and without them, the puzzle can't be completed. Think of these like our cornerstones, the foundations that make up who we are. These foundations can be anything. Mine, for example, are found in my faith, family, personality, and values. The next step to putting a puzzle together involves using the edge pieces to link the corners, or your values. The edge pieces in your life can be school, sports, hobbies, friends, and opportunities. When we put these pieces together, we have to look for the ones that match, whether it's by vibrant colors or patterns. This is just like how we have to search for the people that we resonate and relate with the most. Our pieces have the opportunity to overlap, from shared laughs in the classrooms, cheering in the stands, or smiles in the hallway. The meaning of one piece to me can mean something completely different to somebody else. Look at the people that you're seated next to today. Some of us have been looking forward to this day because we're excited for the future to come, while others are longing for just one more day amongst our amazing peers, teachers, and role models. Yet, here we all are today, soaking in the day of our graduation. Some of our pieces are picture perfect, with bold color, crisp edges. Maybe think of your first day of freshman year, that test you were so excited to have done well on, homecoming, prom, or that big game your team worked so hard to win. These pieces and moments are something you'll hold on to for the rest of your life. They're at the forefront of your mind. You could imagine them as if they were a motion picture right in front of you. Some of our pieces are not so perfect. The edges are wearing, they aren't as appealing. They're starting to lose the color that they once had, or maybe they had no color to them at all. We're all going through something that has set us a couple steps back. We're all fighting our own battles, some harder than others. But with all of these challenges, there's still pieces of our lives. Whether the pieces are good or bad, if we didn't have them, our puzzles would not be connected. There would be holes and gaps in the spaces who make up who we really are, our missing pieces. Some of our pieces can be confusing. On their own, they make no sense. These are often the pieces we set off to the side. Sometimes we completely forget about them, but other times we sit and dwell on them until they become clear on where they fit. I've encountered many pieces in my puzzle that I still don't truly understand where they do fit. As I continue to push through the difficulties that they have put upon me, I start to better understand the piece's purpose. In October of 2024, my dad and I were on our way to a soccer game in Michigan, a weekly routine that we had followed for years of playing club soccer. We were sitting and laughing when suddenly awoke into chaos. We had been rear-ended by a semi, which caused a serious accident involving 6 total vehicles. It's a miracle that we walked away from the hospital later that evening with no serious injuries. And I give thanks to God for being with us that day. Since the accident, I've grown as a person. I've learned that it's okay to not be okay. I've learned it's okay to ask for help when you need it. And I've learned, most importantly, that sometimes we go through hard things even if we don't understand why. To this day, I cannot find the reasoning behind why we went through the accident or how we came out on the other side. But I do know that it's a piece of my puzzle, and I am changed because of it. Other pieces of our puzzle are missing. Perhaps they have not been found in the box of what our lives are supposed to look like yet. Or maybe they fell onto the floor and just need a little bit of searching to find. As we head into our future endeavors, we can never be exactly sure of what is to come. Some of us are heading off to college, some into the workforce, some into the military, and for others, the path has not yet been defined. We can be sure of one thing, though, the idea that we will collect several pieces along the way that will perfectly align in our puzzle of life. Some we will expect to come across, and others will be a complete surprise. As I reflect on who I am today, I have realized that I've started to really appreciate my own puzzle of life. And I encourage each of you to reflect on your personal puzzle too. The goal of life isn't to have everything sorted out now and see the full picture immediately. Every day brings a new piece to the table, a new challenge, a new memory. Every day, we can hope that in the end, to create our own beautiful puzzle. I hope to create mine, and I'm excited to see the pictures that you're all going to continue to make one piece at a time. I would like to conclude with one more thing. I would not be the person I am today without the help of those around me. I want to give a special thanks to my friends, teachers, role models that have helped me become the person I am today. Most importantly, I want to thank my brothers and parents and family for everything that they have done. I am so appreciative of your unwavering support over the past 18 years and could not have accomplished what I have without you. Thank you. I would now like to welcome Alina Liu to the podium.
We all make sense of high school in different ways. For Addie, it was through puzzle pieces, each one shaped by people and moments that mattered. For me, it was through words. The unfamiliar ones, the oddly specific ones, the ones that slowly began to feel like ours. So today, I want to talk about some of those words, the ones that helped me understand what these past 4 years have meant. It started out simple. I was curious how many words I could collect, how many unfamiliar syllables I could chase down and make my own. So I started a list. Not for a grade, not for an assignment, just because I liked the idea that our vocabulary, like all of us, could grow with time. That list now has over 100 words. Some are complicated, some are whimsical, some, I'll be honest, I still don't quite know how to use. Some words I added because they were beautiful, and others because I needed synonyms for my essays. And if I had $1 for every time I mispronounced a word, I probably could have funded renovations. But each one came to mean something beyond its definition. And maybe it didn't keep a list like I did, but I think we've all been collecting things. Moments, memories, truths we didn't have the words for yet. And every word I collected became a bookmark for a lesson I didn't know I was learning. Now I want to share just a few. The ones that stuck. The ones that felt like fragments of high school. Our firsts, our in-betweens, and everything we're still becoming. The first word was apricity, the warmth of the sun in winter. That's what high school was sometimes. Cold mornings, hard tests, stress, and overthinking. And then a friend's laugh. A teacher who really saw you. A song that made the hallway feel golden. That quiet, sudden warmth, that's what I'll remember. Dalliance, a brief, playful involvement. We've all had them. Dalliances with clubs we joined for the snacks. Hobbies we picked up, then forgot. And people we sat next to for one semester and never saw again, but still think about sometimes. Not everything was meant to last, but that doesn't mean it didn't matter. Ensorcel, to enchant. Okay, no, I must admit I wasn't getting out here spellbound by every class. I didn't walk into third period math and fall in love per se, but sometimes something clicked. An idea sparked. A project flowed, and a lesson just stuck with you more than expected. And for one moment, you didn't want the bell to ring. That's what kept us going. Insouciance, a kind of carefree lightness. I used to think being carefree meant simply not caring, but it meant actually means trusting. Trusting that we're doing enough, that we don't have to have everything figured out just yet. that life is coming from you and not at you. Sometimes it means letting yourself enjoy the moment without planning 5 steps at a time. I must admit, that one took me a while. Sedulous, the quiet work, the showing up. Even when we were tired, burnt out, overwhelmed, we kept going. Through the late nights, early mornings, and everything in between, we stayed in it. Even when no one was watching, even when it was hard, that matters and that deserves credit. Treacle, meaning maybe a little too sweet, but honestly, I think today calls for that. We made it, and if there's ever a time to be a little sentimental, it's now. And finally, zenith, the peak. The word zenith comes from Arabic, originally meaning the path overhead, and that feels fitting, because this moment isn't just the top of a climb, it's a point we pass through together, looking up and aiming higher. This isn't the end, but it is a summit that we climbed together. Some of us sprinted, some of us crawled, and some of us took winding, unexpected paths that didn't make sense until now. But we made it. Each of us took a different path, but I'm grateful ours crossed here. And still, some moments didn't make the list. The ones too fleeting to name. The late night calls, the inside jokes in passing, and the quiet resilience you don't realize until it's behind you. Not every memory has a word, but they live with us, shaping who we've become. If I were to write an entry for the class of 2025 in my own dictionary, it might read something like this. Noun, a group of allies bound together by last-minute assignments, hallway laughter, caffeine, and resilience. See also, unforgettable. We survived the SAT, tornado lockdowns, Wi-Fi outages. We survived group projects with no replies and Google Docs at 1 a.m. Whether you were always 5 minutes early or always sliding in at the bell, we made it to the same finish line. I hope you leave today with your own version of this list. Not made of a vocabulary maybe, but of memories, values, and people. So instead of saying, as we leave this chapter and begin the next, let's say this. Let's keep writing. Let's keep asking questions, collecting moments, and chasing meaning. Let's keep adding to our list because our dictionary is far from full. Before I close, I want to take this moment to thank my family who have always had my back on the way up the zenith. 谢谢爸爸妈妈还有姐姐一直以来的支持，你们是我最健谈的后盾，爱你们呀！ And thank you to my cousins and friends for always being the light I never had to ask for. I came to high school with a list of unknowns, and now I leave with a vocabulary shaped by all of you. Words I now understand not just by definition, but by experience. This isn't just our vocabulary anymore. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not just my vocabulary anymore, it's ours. The words will keep coming, the meanings will keep changing, and so will we. However far we go from here, may we always keep learning, keep growing, and keep leaving words behind us. Thank you, congratulations to class of 2025. You will always be my adversity, a light in my memories as warm as the sun that shines on us today. Thank you. Mr. Edwards will now come to the podium to recognize our gold cord and highest honor students.
Thank you. I would ask that each student stand once their name is read and that they remain standing until all names have been read. I would ask that the audience hold its applause until all names are read. Our gold cord recipients in alphabetical order are Ariel Adams, Jacob Anderson, Owen Beckhue, Emma Belsley, Boston Byer, Georgia Bloom, Ethan Becker, Kelvin Boker, Landon Berkey, Ava Bonham, Avery Breaker, Andrew Brooks, Zara Breach, Annabelle Bolfer, Courtney Bunton, Gio Vonstri Burgos Vega, Alexander Camacho, Philip Canopy, Haley Carpenter, Sharon Chen, Sophia Davila, Addison Day, Gia DeTrempe, Kylie Donnelly, Lucas Drake, Cheyenne Durbin, Drew Dyke, Gwendolyn Eckert, Georgia Farrell, Abigail Foster, Grant Franklin, Bryn Fritz, Quinn Ganaway, Riley Gashaw, Aubrey Gertz, Samuel Geyer, Ethan Green, Wes Gudeman, Elena Hart, John Hart, Lucas Hart, Macy Harder, Natalie Houter, Amalia Herman, Ethan Herman, Soraya Hoffman, Sydney Hoffman, Chloe Holland, Ella Hornsby, Olivia Huff, Chloe Hurst, Christian Johnson, Paul Johnson, Emma Kellington, Charles Kloffenstein, Ryan Kloffenstein, Riley Kaner, Joshua Kolacki, Andrew Kuntz, Julia Laufenberg, Miles Lehman, Alexander Lemasters, Alina Liu, Helen Luker, Ewan McRitchie, Haley Martin, Clayton McKee, Christopher Moore, Hannah Newkirk, Adeline Norris, Asia Erdl, Nicholas Orzel, Isaac Oswald, Mahi Patel, Gavin Patterson, Isabel Peterson, Charlotte Potts, Jarrett Rimmy, Stella Ritchie, Jaden Robbins, Caden Robison, Anastasia Rose, Anya Ruxlow, Joshua Sauter, Caleb Saunders, Ryan Schaffnett, William Seaman, Amanda Shook, Macy Seams, Isabel Sinclair, Ella Smallenberger, Rebecca Smith, Sean Stanger, Andrew Stock, Hannah Strubar, Joshua Stubbs II, Avery Sullivan, Amelia Van Menen, Ella Van Aken, Kevin Vo, Allison Wearies, Kate Westbrook, Carly Whitaker, Daniel Wilson, Titus Yoder, Paul Yantz, and Evelina Young. Please help me in congratulating them. Our gold cord recipients may be seated. Highest honor recipients, please stand when your name is called and remain standing until all names have been called. In alphabetical order, Emma Belsley, Boston Byer, Courtney Bunton, Philip Canopy, Sharon Chen, Drew Dyke, Abigail Foster, Bryn Frintz, Amalea Herman, Charles Kloffenstein, Alina Liu, Hannah Newkirk, Isaac Oswald, Mahi Patel, Sean Stanger, Joshua Stubbs II, and Evelina Young. Please again help me congratulate them. You may be seated. I would now like to recognize our students who have made the commitment to serve in a branch of our armed forces. Their acts of service and willingness to serve our country are appreciated and noteworthy. I would ask that these individuals stand and remain standing until all the names have been read. However, before we read their names, I would like to honor any of the veterans that are in our midst today. So please stand for a moment of applause. Thank you for your service. Our students in the armed forces that they are joining: Julian Alexander in the Air Force. I think we can give each one a round of applause. Gio von Stree Burgos Vega, Air Force. Olivia Huff, Army Reserves. Daniel Marvin, Army. Gavin Patterson, Air Force. And Caleb Saunders, Air National Guard. You may be seated. Thank you again for your commitment to serve the United States of America. I'd now like to share a few final thoughts with the class of 2025 before asking Dr. Smock to certify the class as graduates of Morton High School. Each year, I look forward to helping our students celebrate graduation. It is a huge accomplishment and significant milestone in their journey through life. My hope is that I may be able to instill a final nugget of wisdom before you make the jump to the world outside of Morton High School. During one of our cold, wintry days in February, I watched the movie Armageddon. It's a personal favorite of mine. In this movie from 1998, a group of men are assigned the task of saving the world from annihilation. The event that's going to end the world is a giant asteroid that is on a collision course with Earth. The group of men, oil drillers by trade, are recruited by NASA and sent to space. Their job is to land on the asteroid, drill a hole to the center of it, and then use a nuclear explosive to blow the asteroid in half and so that it misses Earth. As you'd expect, there are trials and tribulations that must be overcome. As the climax of the movie approaches, a supporting character utters the following phrase about the main character. Harry'll do it. I know. He doesn't know how to fail. For years, I loved this line because to me it meant that Harry was reliable and flawless. This feeling is reinforced during the movie when Harry is questioned by an astronaut, and Harry says, I've been drilling holes in the earth for 30 years, and I have never missed a depth that I have aimed for. I'm not going to miss this one. His confidence and certainty that he won't let the entire earth down resonated with me when I was young. However, in many years of education, I've worked with thousands of students and their families. I have learned that occasional failure at the right time in the right manner can lead to good outcomes. Failure has the potential to teach humility and humbleness. It has the potential to give us pause and require us to be introspective. It can require us to be creative and search for a unique solution to our problem. My first significant taste of true failure was when I chose to run a marathon. A friend and I in college decided to run the Chicago Marathon together. We trained separately and planned to run the race together. I told my wife, who was obviously my girlfriend at the time, that I should finish in 3 hours, so she knew exactly where to find me at the finish line. I had chosen this time as it was well below the established time to qualify for the Boston Marathon. And you can imagine my chagrin when I crossed the finish line at around 4 hours, an hour late, and my friend crossed it around 5 hours. Upon completion, he said, I'll never run again. And it's a promise he's kept to this day. I had a belief that I couldn't believe that I had failed so by such a large margin. And so my thought was, I can do better. I will do better next time. So I continued to train and continued to run marathons with the goal of qualifying for the Boston Marathon. I ran Chicago Marathon again and failed again, but I learned from it. I learned how I didn't like to run in crowds. I learned what my body needed to run hard for 26.2 miles. I learned what clothing to wear so that I was comfortable as I ran. My failure to qualify was disappointing, but I was growing. Jumping forward, I set my sights at the Quad Cities Marathon. I started the race and realized I was way ahead of pace. And I kept telling myself to slow down, and I just couldn't get my body to cooperate. At mile 22, I was still on pace to qualify for Boston, and then I missed an aid station. I didn't realize how much I had slowed down due to missing that aid station until I did the math in my head and realized I was going to miss qualifying by about 30 seconds. Imagine running 26.2 miles and realizing that if each mile had been a second faster, you would have made it. All right, that was my gut check moment. I could see the finish line. I could see the clock clicking down, and my wife was there, and she didn't come up and congratulate me when I finished the race. And so I thought, well, I'd missed it. I actually had made it by about 15 seconds, and I was so excited. I share this story because everyone in the stadium has faced challenges and likely failed at some point. If you can't think of a time that you have failed, be prepared because it will arrive at some point in your life. My hope for each of you is that when you encounter that failure, you take the time to analyze what led to it and then develop a solution or plan to overcome it. In a few moments, each of you will be recognized with a diploma for the success that you have had at MHS. I hope that you realize that you have developed a set of behaviors that will help you when challenges arise. Growing up, I thought that failure was something to be avoided at all costs. I now realize that failure is a part of life, and we have the opportunity to learn from it. As you cross the stage and take a giant step into adulthood, I hope that you embrace the idea that failure is something that you will encounter. It might appear as your first B, C, D on a test or class that you receive in your life. It might appear as the first time that you get turned down for a job. Regardless of where the failure occurs, it is worth remembering that the failure does not define who you are and what you can learn from it. In closing, as I watch Armageddon, I have drawn the following conclusions. When a group of people is working to save the world from annihilation, you don't want them to fail. However, you do want them to have failed earlier in their lives when the stakes weren't so high. Their failure earlier in life has helped them prepare for that particular mission. As you enter the adult world, I hope that you see each experience as an opportunity to make you a better student, a better person. I hope that you look forward to the challenges that you'll meet, because I am confident after working with each of you this year that you are ready to face and overcome them. Best of luck in your future endeavors, class of 2025. I would now like to welcome Dr. Smock to the podium to share a few thoughts and accept the Morton High School class of 2025 as graduates of Morton High School. Dr. Smock, at this time, I certify to you and the members of the Board of Education that the members of the class of 2025 seated before you have completed all of the requirements needed for graduation from Morton High School. Dr. Smock, would you please come forward and accept the class of 2025?
Thank you, Principal Edwards. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, families, friends, faculty, and seniors. I'd like to begin by thanking those who were involved in setting this all up today. So thank you to the maintenance and custodial staff for all their hard work today. Thank you to the musicians that are here with us today, the directors, and the faculty for being with us. Most of all, I'd like to thank the one that's in charge of the weather today. What a beautiful day. So what can we say about this class of 2025? What did they accomplish? Many things. You've already heard several of those. Many things in the areas of academics, trades, athletics, the arts, music, many areas. But who are the class of 2025 as people? You know, every graduating class has its own personality, its own characteristics, its own characters, many things that make them famous or infamous. So I asked some of the teachers, people that have been with you for 4 years, watching you, teaching you, being with you, describe this class of 2025. Who would know you better than they would? Wouldn't you like to know what they've said? Well, one of them said, in this class, there's so much diversity in their interests and career ambitions. Many of them have taken advantage of several different types of opportunities at MHS, including internships, co-op programs, early college, Skills USA, the arts, academic teams, and clubs, and certainly athletics. They are very involved. Another teacher said, this graduating class is a very solid group of students. So that's good. Who have achieved many things, academically, athletically, and socially. And they do things for the right reasons. They don't just crave the spotlight, they are genuine. The seniors I've taught, another one says, and coached this year have been very driven, coachable, and hardworking. I've appreciated their persistence, especially in the face of personal setbacks. I admire how many of the seniors faced hardships head-on and kept their values. That is a very rare quality among the young and the old. Another said, finally, I've been impressed with their maturity. These seniors are very kind, hardworking, and just excellent group of students. I think there are many among them who are genuinely interested in serving others and making the world a better place. That's some really good stuff. You know, many of you are already doing the things that we would say you should do to be successful in your future. Working hard, getting involved, being genuine, meeting adversity head on, serving others, making the world a better place, keeping your values. Well, since you've not yet gone off on your own to conquer the world, I would add just one thing to that last item, keeping your values. And I'll say it this way: stand firm on your foundation. You've heard speakers today talk about your foundation and what you collect. So what's your foundation, you might ask? The foundation that your family, your friends, your teachers, your pastors, your mentors have built in you over these past 18 years. They won't always be there with you, but you can always hear their voices if you so choose. So don't forget the wisdom that they've instilled in you. And wherever you are, don't forget who you are. Stand firm on your foundation. And with that, at this time, it is my distinct honor and privilege to accept this class of 2025 and designate them as graduated from Morton High School on this beautiful day. Congratulations, Morton High School class of 2025.
I would now ask that the honor marshals come forward to present the class of 2025. Audience members, I would ask that you hold your applause and celebrations until all names have been read so that each family can hear their student's name read.
You grab the microphone.
Ariel Nordico Tagiluk Adams. Julian Lee Alexander. Tyus Jordan Almasi. Lauren Jean Ames. Jacob Ryan Anderson. Ethan Andrew Antalik. Abigail Rupa Backhouse. Rayan Fariz Bakri. Hannah Emily Bankert. Madison Renee Barker. Hudson Ray Baum. Owen Alexander Beckew. Caden Reed Bell. Emma Ann Belsley. Tucker Owen Berlin. Boston Trey Byer. Alfred William Bimrose. Georgia Marie Bloom. Ethan Grant Becker. Calvin Todd Boker. Landon Kyle Berkey. Ava Rose Bonham. Avery Marie Breaker. Caitlin Yabsera Sue Brock. Andrew Michael Brooks. Sydney Ray Brown. Zara Sue Breach. Shondon Scott Buffington. Annabelle Rose Bolfer. Courtney Michelle Bunton. Gavin Connor Bunyan. Giovanstri Burgos Vega. Jeremy Utziel Burgos Vega. Lydia Marie Burns. Karen Jimena Canchola. Philip Dean Canopy. Haley Ann Carpenter. Emily Carrillo. Sharon Chen. Megan Rose Cole. Ian Lee Collins. Ethan Grant Combs. Brett Alexander Congrove. Reed Allen Cook. Kaylee Sue Crouch. Sophia Gabriella Davila. Caleb Hunter Davis. Addison Marie Day. Katie Henry Lee Doherty. Brendan Deline Dollar. Kylie Rayanne Donnelly. Oliver Richard Donnelly. Dennis Gordon Dracup. Lucas Cooper Drake. Allie Maya Duez. Cheyenne Mina Durbin. Drew Everett Dyke. Gwendolyn Doris Eckhart. Isabella Joy Erickson. Braden Frederick Everett. Georgia Tess Farrell. Sophie Leanne Farrell. Abigail Lynn Foster. Josie Diane Foster. Connor Michael Frank. Simon Douglas Frank. Grant Ross Franklin. Brady Raymond Fry. Bryn Elizabeth Fritz. Floyd Gage. Addison Nicole Gallup. Quinn Marie Ganaway. Aaron Enrique Garcia. Charles Jeffrey Garrison. Isaac Chad Garza. Riley Leola Gashaw. Luke Harold Geeson. Aubrey Ann Gertz. Samuel James Geyer. Tyler Joseph Gillum. Ashlyn Rebecca Godfrey. Dylan Anthony Gorman. Julia Lynn Granger. Cody Mitchell Grasshoff. Ethan Harrison Green. Jake Stephen Grethy. Isabella Kathleen Greeter. Wes Augustus Gudeman. Leah Nicole Guth. Ava Marie Haberlin. Blake Anthony Haney. Lucy Marie Hancock. Michael Antone Hand. Christian Wyatt Harris. Elena Catherine Hart. John David Hart. Lucas Matthew Hart. Macy Gabrielle Harder. Allison Noel Howder. Aminti Stephen Howder. Natalie Elaine Howder. Raylan Lou Hawkins. Amalia Rose Herman. Ethan Joshua Herman. Lucas David Herman. Soraya Lee Hoffman. Sydney Ann Hoffman. Chloe G. Holland. Ella Reese Hornsby. Mason David Hoyland. Olivia Kathleen Huff. Chloe Estelle Hurst. Christian Donald Johnson. Ethan Spencer Johnson. Paul Lawrence Johnson. Carter Lee Jones. Gabriela Annalise Juarez. Dane Stephen Kaser. Bo Richard Kaufman. Emma Louise Kellington. Elena Grace Kern. Cora Lynn Kidd. Charles John Klopfenstein. Ryan James Klopfenstein. Riley Jean Kaner. Joshua Franklin Kolacki. Andrew Aaron Coons. Julia Marie Laufenberg. Miles Weston Lehman. Alexander Joseph Lemasters. Wade Nicholas Litzenberg. Grady Rowan Loudermilk. Sophia Faye Lowers. Alina Liu. Helen Alcina Luker. Brooklyn Chantel Lyons. Ewan Murdo McRitchie. Lachlan Chase Marlott. Silas Wesley Marlott. Haley Rita Martin. Daniel Thomas Marvin. Ashley Marie Maurer. Isabel Marie McCauley. Jewel Anne Marie McDonald. Clayton Alexander McKee. Nolan Matthew McKenna. Jericho Daniel John McVeigh. Gregory Emerson Melton. Finn Michael Miller. Jack Bradley Mitchell. Brooke Ashley Morrison. Ellie Sue Mortimer. Raya Grace Mueller. Aaron Rose Mulkey. Hannah Catherine Newkirk. Adeline Rianne Norris. Asia Nikel Erdl. Finnegan James O'Neill. Nicholas Riley Orzel. Isaac Christian Oswald. Kushi Alpish Patel. Mahi Jagdish Patel. Gavin Christopher Patterson. Drake David Paul. Sophie Renee Pierce. Isabel Faye Peterson. Liam Rafe Pickerel. Chloe Jean Margaret Piper. Lauren Grace Pinter. Charlotte Quinn Potts. Eli Eugene Price. Josiah William Rabe. Brinley Rose Rossage. Bryn Nicole Reese. Maya Catherine Rice. Jarrett Thomas Remy. Cole Barton Rinkenberger. Stella Ann Ritchie. Kai Banks Rivas. Jaden Renee Robbins. Anthony Scott Robison. Caden Brock Robison. Anastasia Catherine Rose. Emily Lorraine Ross. Aubrey Ann Roth. Trip Gallus Rugard. Miriam Rose Rupp. Anya Claire Ruxlow. Joshua Bruce Souter. Caleb Aaron Saunders. Olivia Pearl Saylor. Ryan William Schaffnett. Caitlin Anne Marie Schwartz. William Reese Seaman. Grant Jeffrey Selke. Amanda Hallie Shook. Brandon James Sieben. Luke Michael Siebenthal. Ava Terraza Seams. Macy Beverly Seams. Vian Allen Seams. Tamaria Lanira Sims. Isabel Ann Sinclair. Preston Armani Sledge. Ella Lynn Smollenberger. Aiden Daniel Smith. Cameron Matthew Smith. Lily Ryan Smith. Rebecca Ann Smith. Gideon Charles Snyder. Dylan Wolfgang Soderstrom. Olivia Faith Springer. Ella Jean Stang. Noah Robert Stang. Sean Anthony Stanger. Madeline Willow Sturkey. Andrew Wayne Stock. Hannah Lee Strubar. Joshua Michael Stubbs II. Aiden Edward Studebaker. Avery Elizabeth Sullivan. Bennett Marie Swearingen. Rylan Marshall Tanner. Olivia Grace Toole. Finn Patrick Callahan Tewksbury. Karsten Michael Thurman. Amelia Marie Van Binnen. Ella Noel Vanaken. Kevin Dunvo. David Joseph Walters. Paul Cabetta Weeks. Allison May Wearies. Kate Elizabeth Westbrook. Carly Rebecca Whitaker. Jacob Chemo Wiegand. Audrey Isabel Wilson. Daniel Claude Wilson. Talon August Winkle. Callie Ann Winstead. Titus Andrew Yoder. Paul James Yance. Evelina Christine Young. Gavin Ryan Zeller. Avari Rose Zimmerman. Trey Andrew Zobrist. Nora Beth Zersky. Christopher Alexander Moore. Gia Maridonna DeTrimpe. Alexander Timothy Camacho.
Will our honor marshals please stand and come to the front of the stage? To the class of 2025, I'm proud of each of you. Congratulations and best of luck in your future endeavors. This is your sign, guys. Congratulations.
That's it, go home. Go eat some food.
I gotta run over to the track now.
As a reminder to our graduates, please make sure you get your diplomas over on the side of the track, and congratulations.
My favorite high school memory was participating in girls basketball.
My favorite high school memory was senior homecoming.
My favorite high school memory is probably just terrorizing the halls with Silas Marlott. Me and him, we had press passes. We were a big deal in broadcast journalism. You know, we made the news, we did our thing. That's actually him right there. You'd never guess it.
My favorite memory of high school is all the years I spent making fun of Mr. Garner.
I'd say my favorite high school memory would be the pre-games, you know, before the game, getting locked in with the guys.
And my favorite high school memory is hanging out with all my friends and just having a good time.
Yeah, my favorite high school memory is going to Memphis for the baseball team.
My favorite high school memory was doing culinary arts class.
My favorite high school memory was cheering for the comp team and cheering for basketball and football games.
My favorite high school memory is playing football with my friends on Friday nights.
Our favorite memory was cheering for the first high school comp cheer team.
Yep. My favorite high school memory is dressing up for all the football games with my friends.
My favorite high school memory was the first time when Morton Bands went to Illinois State Championship and we found out we won. Seeing everyone's faces was one of my favorite memories of all time.
My favorite high school memory is participating in girls basketball and girls soccer.
My favorite high school memory was my friends, more specifically my ladies.
My favorite high school memory was being able to be a part of the Morton Band program. I really found my community there and lots of friends that I believe will stay with me for the rest of my life.
Okay, our favorite high school memory was junior year football games.
My favorite high school memory was beating Washington during basketball season senior year.
I'd say my favorite high school memory or memories would be, I'd say, like marching band, community nights.
My favorite high school memory was in calculus when we watched Calculus the Musical.
Our favorite high school memory is
Mr. Ginzel's Potter Hour.
My favorite high school memory was playing with all my teammates in various sports, such as soccer and baseball.
My favorite high school memory is just being part of the track and cross country team. Mine's probably volleyball and going to football games.
My favorite high school memory is just being new friends.
My favorite high school memory is probably any time within tennis, like the whole season and the whole team was just so supportive.
Meeting my best friend that's right here.
My favorite high school memory was probably beating Rich Woods in the regional semifinals for men's soccer.
My favorite high school memory was going 4 years undefeated in high school swimming.
My favorite memory is probably dissecting the cat in Mr. McClure's anatomy class.
Our favorite high school memory is this year's homecoming football game.
My favorite memory was probably senior year, first semester, Ms. Sheets class.
My favorite moment was playing basketball.
Oh, I got a good memory.
Or prom.
My favorite memory? A lot of them to be fair. I'd have to go with every day with Mr. I. You know, Mr. I is a great guy, always can make me laugh.
Playing in a sectional championship as a freshman. Yep. It's pretty sick.
Playing Washington. This man right here, game winner. Oh my gosh, I'll never forget it.